view on this?
I agree. I believe Tony Corrente stepped in this gentleman's line of in his path, caused him to bump him. Now, I thought that's what he threw the flag on, is because the Marsh bumped into him. Skip, I didn't know that.
Okay, but you're saying he stepped into Marsh's path.
Yes, he did. Because Marsh looked like he was...
I agree.
Right. Marsh
so
looked like he was trying to
flag him if you run into him.
Right, but he's saying he flagged him for taunting the bench.
Yes.
But if that was the case, when he was doing all that, throw the flag then, and therefore you don't back into him and then throw the flag once the guy bumps into you. Because, Skip, even if the guy, if I'm on the field, this happened to Rod Smith on a Monday night. He was tussling with a DB. He snatches his hand from the DB, and he accidentally hits the official. Flag goes up in there, Rod is gone. He didn't mean to do it, but if you make contact with an official on the field, it's an automatic ejection. Well, Tony Corrente, you bumped into the guy. You hip-checked the guy. That guy was not going to bump Tony Corrente, Skip. And the way he was running, Corrente back. So the NFL should suspend him for 1 game.
Wow.
1 game. He's got to miss a game, Skip. He's got to miss a game. A check, because that's what, an official, a player, or $25,000, whatever he makes. He needs to be punished for this. Players are asked to go above and beyond, even in an emotional state, Skip, to understand who that gentleman is and what his responsibility is, and not to make contact. Now you're asking me that when I'm running, the official bump into me, he can bump into me? That's not right. Now, I do think Marsh, after watching it over and over again, I think, Skip, you can't do that.
Thank you. You
cannot do that. You cannot look at the opposing team's sideline.
Glare at it.
Bro, you had already done, you did like 5 spinning kicks. I thought this was Mortal Kombat. He had done 5 spinning kicks.
Okay, he's always done that after a sack. That's his signature celebration. Okay, got it. And they didn't flag that.
Guess what he was? Because he was looking at the end zone. He was doing all that, and they go keep on doing that. And then that wasn't enough, because that didn't garner the attention that he wanted. He had to turn and face the Steelers bench. What do you think's going to happen? Bro, come on now. I get it. Skip, look, I grew up at a different time, but I understand now they're trying to cut down on the taunting. And they said, but, I don't know what Marsh was thinking. But Corrente was wrong in this instance, because I believe he went out of his way to make sure Marsh made contact with him. And I don't like that. I don't think he should have done that, Skip. That's my stance on that.
Okay, I got it. And I hear you. Okay, I'm going to start with the taunting, and I completely agree with you. I know it's gone a little over the top, if not over the edge, but they made it a point of interest and emphasis before the season started, and they warned everybody, this is coming. We're going to crack down on this. You can celebrate all you want away from anybody who's falling. You can't taunt. Jalen Ramsey got one on Sunday night for taunting down. You can't taunt somebody beneath you. They will not. They don't like standing over, laying over on top of. They won't accept that. That's a flag.
Because guess what Ramsey tried to do? He tried to do the Iverson crossover on Ty Lue.
He did.
Over A.J. Brown.
Okay. So now back to Tony Corrente. I think he saw him coming, knowing what he was about to do. And remember, Cassius Marsh has been in this league for a long time. This is his 9th stop. This is his 9th time around with a different team.
Because I remember the 49ers and the Seahawks. I know he's been on those 2 teams.
Okay, and he was once a 4th-round pick out of UCLA, but it's way back in 2014. He's now 29 years of age. So he knows the ropes. He knows what's going on. And yet, remember, the Steelers cut him in August, so he spent the summer with the Steelers. So he wanted to show them.
That explains it.
That's why. Okay. So now he's starting to move forward, and I believe that Tony Corrente was trying to ref him out of moving toward the Steeler bench, which that's out of line. That's not within his duties. But it felt like he was trying to back up to impede his direction he was taking to go toward the Steelers bench. But if you look at it, he's already reaching for his flag. He's getting ready to call it before there's any contact. To me, because he sees what's coming, but he's out of line to sort of back into it.
Because he stuck his butt out of you. The guy was running past. Look at it, Skip. That's not a natural move, Skip. That's not a natural move.
Because he knows what's coming. He knows he's going the wrong direction. He's going to go taunt the Steelers bench. And I'm not sure he yelled anything at the Steelers on his bench.
Skip, he's going towards his bench.
Okay, now he's going backwards. I'm sorry. He'd already done it. He'd already done it.
Yes.
So, okay, now, I'm not sure why he would hip check him backwards.
Right.
I don't know why. But, by the way, once he got to his bench, his line coach just reamed him out.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, because he knew you can't even start. If you give them the tiniest reason, they're going to throw a flag because they've been told by their superiors, anything untoward here, it gets flagged. You're right. He was going the wrong way. So he's going back toward his bench. So he's not trying to impede his progress. He'd already done it. But he's already ready to flag him because he's already reached in his pocket. So I don't know what that was about. But Corrente said, I didn't judge the contact as anything that I dealt with. He said that had nothing to do with the flag that I threw. Okay, so it wasn't like he was going to flag him for contact because he's already reaching for his flag before he initiated the contact.
But if I'm the NFL, I'm looking, why did you make that unnatural motion as this gentleman is running past you? You were in a spot. As he starts to run past you, you're starting to back up. Why?
I don't know. And I'm with you. It was literally out of bounds for the referee. I've never seen a ref do that.
Right. It's an unnatural act, Skip.
Yep, it is. And I don't know why if he's trying to get his attention or what, but he did it, and it was out of bounds, and it was wrong.
Right.
Okay, now let's talk about the game itself. You and I went back and forth about should Justin Fields be playing this year as a raw rookie. Right. And from the start, I just said, look, they moved up to get him. They took him. You play him. And I've always been about my Peyton Manning theory is they threw Peyton into the fire as a rookie, and he led the league in interceptions, but he was Peyton Manning. Right. So it helped speed his growth instead of stunt his growth by sitting him for a year. And I know you can come back at him. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years, or whoever you want to get. Mahomes sat for 1 year. But in this case, Justin Fields is getting better by the snap because he's tough enough mentally. If you're not that guy, you're going to fold under the fire. Right. And they don't have a great offensive line, but it hung in better in the second half last night. It did. They started to get some blocking rhythm. Right. And all of a sudden, Justin Fields started feeling like, I got a little time to cut loose here.
But also, what were they able to do? They were able to run the ball just enough to keep the Steelers on the hill. 26 for 136, 5.2.
And some of that came from the quarterback on called runs.
If you think about Skip, a lot of his big throws came with him on the move because he's that type of quarterback.
He is.
So maybe Matt Nagy needs to design more things that put him on the move instead of allowing him to be stationary where they can find him. He's good enough that he can throw. If that last touchdown that gave them the lead, Skip, he was on the move.
He was on the move. And that third down throw that he threw before that, on the deep out, that was a big-time throw.
Yes.
I'm seeing star quality from him. Obviously, our problem with him at Ohio State was every once in a while he'd come up with a Northwestern Big Ten championship game stinker. We'd say, where did you go? Well, I don't know. We're about to talk about Dak Prescott. He had one of those stinkers on it. It just happened.
We saw him against Clemson, and we like, okay, man,
there's that guy.
There you go.
Right? Okay, so to me, he got better and better. He got more and more confident last night, and it's why these kids should be allowed to play. You're going to have growing pains. You're going to have stops and starts and fits and spurts. But the point is that you see before your very eyes, he's made of the right stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He can handle failing because you're going to fail. But then can you bounce back? Well, it appears that he bounces back pretty quickly.
Yes. I think the thing is, Skip, as long as you're going to be able to run the football, because if you look at when he got punished by the Browns, they were unable to run the football. So now he's a sitting duck because with that kind of pressure that the Browns can generate, and your offensive line isn't very good. Now, that's on the GM, that's on Matt Nagy because they haven't improved. You get a quarterback, Skip, you want to protect him. There's a reason why they have guards and they have a vault to protect the money. Well, the money is Justin Fields. You need guards to protect the money. So I agree with you, Skip. I thought he played well. This was a game they easily could have won.
And by the way, he runs with authority.
Yeah.
He's not Cam-sized because Cam's 250.
But he's bigger than you think, Skip.
He's 220-ish.
Yeah.
But 6'3", but he's stout. He runs strong to me. He runs stronger than his age. You know, he's not a baby. He is a man.
Can I ask you one question, Skip, about these taunting penalties? Do you think in the prior 3-4 years, I've never heard you say, well, you know what? They probably need to step in and do something about this taunting.
Nope, I never thought about it.
I mean, so,
it never bothered me. It bothered John Merrick. He was the first one I saw speak out.
Right. Skip, I remember when the incident on contact.
Mm-hmm.
I remember they put upon the emphasis because the Patriots were starting to beat people up doing that.
Yep.
And Peyton started complaining, teams started complaining about it. So they said, you know what, we're going to do this incidental contact, this illegal contact. Now, we're going to make it a point of emphasis. Well, people started to talk about that. I didn't hear anything. And I'm close to it. I've never heard anybody say, you know what, man, this taunting is getting out of hand.
Nope, nobody said it. I didn't say it. I never thought twice about it.
I never thought twice about it.
But again, I'm all about the rules are the rules.
Right.
And if you're going to enforce them that way, you better be careful.
Right.
You better honor that on the field or you're going to pay for it.
So I'm just trying to figure out, so what's taunting? So when the guy get an interception and they run all the way down to one end zone and they row the boat or they do the river dance. So they're
just saying taunting to a fallen victim. You know, like if you just victimized him, you can't taunt them.
I get it, Skip. The spinning the ball at the guy's feet or, all that kind of stuff. Skip, I get that, stepping over the guy. Because guys were getting, everybody wanted to be AI and start stepping over the guy after you catch a pass or you make a defensive stop. But I didn't think the taunting was getting out of hand.
So here's the bottom line to this game. You look at the stat sheet.